Good day everyone. I'm Duane Calabio and today I'm gonna discuss with you all about the Middle Eastern dance. Dance has existed from time immemorial. It has been an integral part of celebrations and rituals, a mean of communications with gods and among humans, and a basic source of enjoyment and beauty. It is a fundamental element of human behavior and has evolved over the years from primitive movement of the earliest civilizations to traditional ethnic or folk styles to classical ballet and modern dance genres popular today. It is originally passed on from one generation to the next. Many ethnic or folk dances continue to evolve as our civilization and society changes. Middle Eastern dance comes to America. Solomon Bloom was the son of Polish immigrants. He was subsequently educated at home by his mother in San Francisco, where he also began working in a brush factory at the age of 7. By the age of 16, he had established a business of his own and was already wealthy. Bloom produces a play and even built his own theater by the time he was 17 years old. At the age of 19, Saul decided to tour the world to further his education, and his first stop was the 1889 Paris Exposition Universelle. The one exhibit that really captured his imagination was that of an Algerian village. It was the women's traditional dancing that fascinated him the most. Blooms negotiate with their managers and for a fee of about $1,000 obtain the right to negotiate a contract to exhibit them in North and South America. Shortly after his return to America, Blooms learned of plans for the World's Columbian Exposition or World Fair. It was awarded the international exhibition rights in 1890 when President Benjamin Harrison signed the exposition bill into law. Earlier in their planning, the commissioners offers the ambitious 21-year-old the position of manager of the Midway Plaisance, the area that contained all the amusement concessions of the fair. Just a few months earlier, his greatest ambition has been to contract a spot on the Midway with a salary of $1,000 per week. Now he would be managing it and at the salary of equal to the President of the United States at the age of 21. The Midway Plaisance. The Midway Plaisance finished built in 1971. About 200 separate buildings were constructed for the fair, with exhibitions for agriculture, electricity, fisheries, forestry, machinery, manufacturing, liberal arts, mines, stocks, and women, and every state and territory of the Union and 19 foreign countries constructed buildings of their own. The Midway Plaisance was built on a strip of land 600 feet wide and almost a mile long, under the direction of Harvard professor F. W. Putnam and the Exposition Department of Ethnology. The exhibits in the area were supposed to be collected from regions all over the world and to show the progress and development of human civilizations. Saul Blooms was brought in by the commissioners to work on creating an impressive show that would draw crowds and make money. Other important seeds of changes were sown at the exposition as well. Milton S. Hershey purchased an entire chocolate-making assembly line he saw displayed there, enabling him to mass-produce the first affordable chocolate bars, and now it is one of the most famous chocolate brand today, which is the Hershey's. Musicians from the South introduced the world to the catchy new rhythms that would eventually become known as ragtime. The first motion pictures and even the invention of the zipper has been associated with the fair. It was also there that a shocked American first encountered what would become known as the hoochie coochie dance or the belly dance. The foreign world created by the international concessions included villages representing Algeria, Turkey, Java, Germany, Austria, Ireland, and Lapland. Cairo Street. Attracting more than 2 million visitors in 6 months' time, Cairo Street was a model of how the people of Cairo lived, transacted business, and amused themselves, in addition to a replica of the Luxor Temple and a mosque where there were more than 60 shops. In the Cairo Street Theater, performers usually called dancing girls has their performance labeled by a number of names, mostly notably Danse du Ventre, French for Dance of the Stomach. There were at least 12 female dancers who accompanied themselves with the tiny cymbals attached to their fingers. They were joined by male musicians on traditional instruments including reed flutes or oud and a variety of percussion instruments. I actually provide a video but dili siya ma-play while record ko but you can watch it on YouTube. As you can see in the pictures, this is the Cairo Street, and this is the what they call the dancing woman, and this is the instrument used in their performance. The Persian Palace, an impressive structure with towering minarets and domes. The Persian Palace of Eros originally included a company of Persian men who displayed athletic skills, gem cutting, carpet weaving, and other traditions of their country. As soon as Chicago's 1893 fair closed, amusement park, carnivals, and circuses began to cash in on the popularity of the Middle Eastern entertainment from the Midway Plaisance. The new dancing girls commonly used stage names, and regardless of the performer's real nationality, their name usually evoked the Middle East. The most popular name was Little Egypt, and at one point there were so many entertainers used that name that it became synonymous with the type of performance. These are the pictures of the women performers of the Little Egypt. The real Middle East. The Middle East has often been called the cradle of civilization, the birthplace of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It is an area whose influence has also deeply impacted the discipline of science, medicine, architecture, and certainly music and dance. Since the 19th century, many folk forms has nearly died out in their homelands due to a number of factors. Um, in the best of circumstances, genuine ethnic or historical dance is not easily documented, but due in part to the growing Western interest, many important Middle Eastern dances has been documented and recorded before they were entirely extinguished. Sadly, many customs and traditions of the vast and diversified part of the world are viewed and judged with a little understanding or appreciation of their ancient roots today as they were in the past. Though it still receives mixed reviews, despite of all odds, Middle Eastern dance has survived for thousands of years. North African dances. The Ouled Nil. The Ouled Nil are prosperous people from the desert regions of Algeria. Through paintings of the Orientalists and later through photographs of the tribe elaborately dressed dancers, Algeria provided familiar image of the exotic East to the Western world in the 19th century. The first Ouled Nil dancer to perform in America arrived in 1893 as part of the group of the Middle Eastern entertainers that Sol Bloom imported for the Chicago World's Fair. When they were very young, the girls of the tribe began training not only in dance, but also in art of pleasing men. Traditionally, they left the desert towns and villages for larger cities where they began to practice their trade when they were as young as 12. They would spend as long as 15 years working there, earning money until they finally returned to their desert homes to marry using their savings as a dowry. The dancing women of the Ouled Nile, however, have always been valued by their own tribes, and their ability to earn money both accepted and condoned. Even at a time where almost all other women in North Africa were veiled, the dancers of the Ouled Nile were not. They wore heavy black eye makeup and practiced facial tattooing. Their oiled black hair was worn in looped-up braids, and they covered with decorated veils. They dressed in long, full skirt and shawls with very elaborate headdresses and wore a tremendous amount of jewelry, which is made of real silver and gold, including bracelets, earrings, and necklaces. One of the most interesting type of jewelry worn by the girls was a large bracelet with a long sharp studs and spikes that protected them from unwanted attention from men. Sadly, this protection was sometimes insufficient because many of the girls were attacked and even murdered by would-be suitors and their hard-earned wealth stolen from them. The Ouled Nile dance style is heavy and earthy. The twisting hip movements commonly to many North African dances were accompanied by shoulder shimmies, strong muscular movement of the belly, and snake-like arm movements. Most performances now begin with a procession led by musicians with all participants clapping, shouting, and engaged in general merrymaking. The purpose of the dance performance is still to attract potential patrons for the dancers. I also provide a video on how the Ouled Nile perform their dance, but dili siya ma-play wag record ko, but you can watch it on YouTube and swear ma-amaze gid mo. The Gawazi. It is believed that Gypsy tribes moved into the Middle East, probably from northern India. As early as the 5th century AD, many of them became traveling entertainers. Although it was their habit to adapt the religion of their host countries, they were still considered to be outsiders. So even after the advent of Islam, they were not subject to the same restrictions as the local Islamic population. Those who settled in India became to be known as Gawazi. Unlike most other Middle Eastern peoples, the Gawazi traditionally preferred female babies over male, probably because of their ability to earn money. Traveling from city to city, the women danced in the streets, solo or in small groups, while the men accompanied them with instruments. The Gawazi costumes were usually made of heavier fabrics and did not allow as much freedom of movement. Both men and women blackened the rims of their eyes with kohl and used henna on their hands and feet, much like other Egyptians of the middle and upper class. So this is the henna and this is their costumes in their performances. The main movement of the dance of the Gawazi has been described as a rapid vibrating or shimmying sedative side motion of the hips performed to very fast music. They also incorporated back bends and sometimes floor work and head slides into their performance. The use of finger cymbals seems to have been a standard feature of the dance. The dancers also sang, told jokes, and engaged in light banter with their audience. The Gawazi danced to traditional folk music that has a distinctive and primitive sound. The instruments used include the mizmar, tabla biledi, and rebaba. So naa Japon siya video pero di Japon siya ma-play pero naroon siya sa YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. So these are the instruments used in the Gawazi dance performance. This is the mizmar, the tablo biledi, and the rebaba. Saidi. Many styles of popular Egyptian folk dance are loosely labeled Saidi dance because they come from southern Egypt. which is also called Upper Egypt or simply the side. One of the best types of Saidi dance is known as Tatib. So Tatib is a battle dance that includes some of the thrusting and swinging movements of real combat. Tatib demonstrates skills with a thick, solid bamboo staff. So Tatib is extremely masculine, dramatic, and has the high energy shared by most Saidi dances. It is sometimes performed by a fairly large group, but they usually divide into pairs for the combat movements and that are integral to the dance form. The men circles one another in search for an opening for attack while maintaining defensive postures and frequently exchange mock blows. So the video that I attach is actually very nice, and it is amazing on how they perform the Tatib dance. And you can watch it on YouTube. Mugod siya ma-play diri gyud. The female version of Saidi is called Raqs Asaya. The woman version of the Tatib is softer and much more feminine and graceful. It is utilized smaller, lighter sticks and are often glitzy and colorful, and can be either straight or hooked. So, pareha aning nasa picture mo ni ang inani stick na ginagamit sa um, woman version sa Saidi. I also provide a video pero di siya ma-play, but you can watch it on YouTube and it's very nice. And that's all. Thank you.